The trial begins for fired CIA operative Jeffrey Sterling, and the debate continues. Is he a hero or a traitor? Sterling was fired from the CIA 3 years ago after the agency accused him of leaking confidential documents to reporters. Sterling allegedly leaked documents to a New York Times reporter, James Risen, about his undercover spy missions in Iran. Some of those documents also appeared in Risen's book, State of War, which blasts the CIA for their overreach. Now, the 43-year-old Missouri native faces 10 felony charges. Sterling says the CIA singled him out for his race, but the spy agency refused to negotiate a settlement. President Obama heads to Iowa to push his agenda to expand access for high-speed internet service. The White House says laws in 19 states stifle competition for high-speed broadband, so President Obama will file a letter with the FCC calling for an end to measures that limit options for communities. Jeff Haynes, the director of the National Economic Council, says broadband isn't a luxury anymore. During his visit to Cedar Rapids, the president also announced new grants, federal dollars, to pay for broadband in more rural areas. A bartender in Ohio with a history of psychiatric problems accused of threatening to kill the House Speaker John Boehner. Michael Hoyt is his name, and he once worked at a country club where Boehner was a member. And according to the complaints, this man called police in Ohio back in October and told them that he thought he was Jesus Christ and that he should kill Speaker Boehner because he believed that Boehner was, quote, mean to him at the country club. And he also blamed Boehner for Ebola. He also told them that he had a loaded Beretta 380 automatic and that he was going to shoot. The man also thought that Boehner was the devil himself. Police also say that he talked about putting something in Boehner's drink, poison. He's being held under a court order for mental evaluation, and a spokesman for Speaker Boehner says that he's aware of the situation and thanks the authorities for their fast actions. Supporters of ex-Atlanta Fire Chief Kelvin Cochran packed Georgia's Capitol Rotunda on Wednesday. They are protesting what they call unjust persecution for his religious beliefs. Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed suspended and then fired Cochran after learning that he had self-published a book that described homosexuality as a perversion. At Tuesday's rally, Cochran said his termination sent a warning message to Bible-believing Christians. Keep your mouth shut. The executive director of the Georgia Baptist Convention said Cochran's firing is a matter of religious liberty. Mayor Reed says Cochran was fired for poor judgment, not for his faith, and for leaving the city vulnerable to discrimination lawsuits. Cochran says that he didn't discriminate against anyone.
Another AirAsia flight 82501 finding in the Java Sea. The fuselage has been found off the coast of Indonesia. This main part of the airliner held the majority of passengers and the pilots. It was found nearly 3 kilometers from where the aircraft tail was retrieved. The head of the National Search and Rescue Agency said that divers are preparing to search for bodies. The flight data and cockpit recorder were both retrieved earlier this week. Victims' friends and families have been reassured by government officials that the search for passengers' remains would still continue. Tension grows as Taiwan protests China's decision to open new commercial airline routes. These flights would fly right over the Taiwan Strait, which separates the two rivals. Chinese officials are not happy about Taiwan's response. China has said that the sovereign state should be more understanding and less suspicious. Taiwan fears the true intentions of China as talks regarding air routes on the Taiwan Strait median line have yet to be completed. Taiwan said they will increase air surveillance patrols in the strait if necessary. A miraculous rescue in the Caribbean Sea after a passenger fell overboard. A 22-year-old man was traveling on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship when he fell into the ocean. The man had been floating for nearly 5 hours when another cruise vessel spotted him. A passenger on a Disney Magic cruise realized something was wrong after he heard shouting from his balcony and notified the ship's crew. The man says he has no recollection of what happened before he went overboard. The survivor is reportedly in good health and escaped with no serious injuries.